doing business in Iran. Even though it's illegal for any company, any corporation to do business in Iran, they have managed to find a loophole and actually do about that. And I'm wondering what is Halliburton doing in Iran? And I'm also wondering, just like Scott Ritter reported how during the weapons bill passed, even though the United States passed the law, no government built it in the United States. And I'm wondering if this kind of manipulation is going on where Iran has to
That's what my
weapons proliferation has taken place, especially in the Middle East. The hypocrisy and inconsistency has eroded any faith, that anybody might have nuclear weapons, but have never been brought into the Non-Proliferation Treaty, namely Israel, most especially Israel as a U.S. ally, but also Pakistan. These are countries whose possessions of let me just leave it at that. And so for the international community then to turn and say to Iran, we are not going to enforce nuclear proliferation issues with regard to Israel.
one night he was accused of disturbing the peace.
they have, or they're developing.
Well, that's a slightly separate issue, in that I believe Iran is a signatory to the Non-Proliferation Treaty, which means that it's going to. That's a separate issue. Keep in mind, Israel is not a signatory. The scale is different. That's why I wouldn't get hung up on the. Iran right now is a signatory, and it's abiding. And I'm not saying this if I believe in these treaties and if you believe in international law, we should ask that the laws are fairly. And if they're not, it undermines the rule of law.
Would anyone else on the panel like to comment?
Because Israel came up, and it's basically you can't talk about Iran having nuclear weapons. You can't talk about Israel having nuclear weapons. Allowing Israel to have nuclear weapons, America made a tragic mistake because you cannot have weapons. Iranians will say, if the Israelis have nuclear weapons, we can have nuclear weapons. The key, in my opinion, and this is my humble opinion, as a professor, but just living through this all my life.
The neighbors started to complain because they'd had to put up with it all night. The last water balloon. Finally, a couple of undercover policemen came to take Mr. Watterson away.
Not, raised with the war mentality, the ones that have run it this last 40 years. I think as a country we could do a lot to help Israel to feel secure that they could be, and I'm sad that we never talk about it in those terms. It's always the other side and what they're doing wrong, and what can we do right? What can we do? What in our power? I think we could help the Middle East by helping Israel.